During my Justice League video, I had an idea for how to introduce Namor into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then I decided to wait until my Black Panther review to elaborate on it. But since then, I have read my exact pitch on the internet. So, oh, okay, whatever, I'll tell you anyway. So my theory is, in Black Panther 2, you have Namor be the antagonist, is like the king of Atlantis. And then it's king versus king. And then it would separate Namor from Aquaman because he's not exactly a good guy. So that's not that great of an idea, I know. Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Chadwick Boseman, Lupita Nyong'o, and Michael B. Jordan. Holy shit, that was a really good movie. Like, I don't know what I was expecting from a Black Panther movie because I don't know a whole lot about the comics, except this one, but it was definitely satisfying. I've been questioning lately whether or not I should even bother making reviews for Marvel movies because I like them all without question. So I thought I would start off with some of the things that I didn't like so much about it. I was really trying to look. I didn't like how Michael B. Jordan's Eric Killmonger, Eric Stevenson, Ndajaka, was basically another Black Panther. It's a thing that Marvel has been doing a lot of in the past 10 years, and I thought we were past that. You know, because last year, Ego and the Vulture were pretty good. Well, Vulture especially. But they were different. This one falls victim to the same problem that a lot of Marvel movies have, where the villain and the hero are just flip sides of the same coin. You know, Iron Man and Killmonger, Iron Man and 2 and Whiplash, Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket, Captain America and Red Skull, and Doctor Strange and Caecilius. I was really hoping Black Panther would have something a little bit better than that. But it wasn't bad. It was very well done. I was just hoping that they would have gone a different route. But it's Black Panther's first movie. He needs to still be established, and they tend to establish these people against people who are exactly the same as them. And at first, I didn't like the whole coronation ceremony, the succession ritual for the Black Panther. But that was before the plot actually started going, because I was sitting there thinking they really need to get the plot started, but it was all set up for that with the challenges and how the crown moves from person to person. So at first it seemed unnecessary, but as the movie went on, I realized that it was very important. And it didn't even take that long. Like, it couldn't have been that much time. So that's about the bulk of the things I didn't like, even though one of them was something that I did like once time went by a little bit. On to what I did like was fucking damn near everything. Alright, I read a book in 6th grade called The Ear, the Eye, and the Hand, and it was about like an Afrofuturist society where these guys were detectives or something. I don't remember the specifics of the plot, but I remember what I imagined as I read it, and Wakanda was very similar to a lot of the stuff that I was reading back then. So it was nice to have that come back, and it's nice to be reminded of something that I haven't thought about in 15 years. I think my favorite character was Okoye. She was just absolutely badass, and her loyalty to T'Challa really saved the day, even though she didn't have to be. And she proved that the Dora Milaje are truly the elites of the Wakandan army when they were holding their own against a much greater force, at least until the Jabari tribe showed up. Which, I got a question about the Jabari tribe. Are they the white gorilla tribe from the comics? Because I was expecting all of the 5 tribes of Wakanda to have different animal totem names, you know, like the red crocodile or something. But they gave them a weird Wakandan name, Jabari, and then there was like the river tribe and the mining tribe, so it's a little inconsistent there. M'Baku was in it, but he wasn't called the man-ape, so I feel like if I call him the man-ape, that's probably racist. It was probably omitted for a good reason, but he was awesome, because he wasn't even a villain. I really liked him. But oh yeah, Okoye's relationship with M'Kabi? Daniel Kaluuya's character. Like, it was established early on through a phone call, which their phones are their bracelets. I think that's fucking awesome. That's a really unique way of looking at it. But they established they had some kind of romantic relationship early on, but then they never really cemented it as time went on. You know, they were in the same room a lot, but they weren't really proving it. Like, as far as I know, they could have been two different people. But then at the end, it did sort of matter, but like I don't know, I didn't really feel it. I wasn't really happy that Daniel Kaluuya turned out to be a betrayer, a backstabber, but I don't know. He gave up when the time was right. He survived, unlike almost everyone else, which is really a shame. Forrest Whitaker died, and John Connie was already dead, so the lazy-eyed tribe is gone. They could have bought Ulysses Claw back, periodically. He seems like a perfect recurring villain because he's mostly comic relief. But they killed him. But for good reason. I mean, he was kind of a horrible person, and the comic relief doesn't really cover up how terrible he was. But speaking of comic relief, Shuri was good. I liked her a lot more than I thought I would. I thought she was going to be like a typical female tech trope, where she just is hot and says scientific words, but basically doesn't do anything. Shuri was cool. She was the primary comic relief. Like, when the movie started, I wasn't on board with the comedy in it. I thought maybe they were just trying to get it out of the way early on to fit some kind of Marvel quota for jokes. But then as time went on, I started getting into it, and definitely by the time they were talking to M'Baku, I started laughing out loud a bit. I had to wrap my head around what the tone was going to be for it, because this is a slower movie than most Marvel movies are, and it's appreciated because it's something different, but I wasn't expecting it, so I wasn't sure how anxious to be all the time. But it didn't take me long to figure it out. I really appreciate that. Ryan Coogler did a fantastic job crafting this world and this movie. Chadwick Boseman just continues to knock the hell out of this character. Like, he was born to play this. Like, I can't believe I ever wanted anyone else to play him. I mean, I didn't really know who he was back when he was first cast. Like, I'd seen 42, but I didn't really know who he was. Michael Biehn Jordan kind of looked like Nick Cannon for a lot of it. I mean, obviously Nick Cannon doesn't have scarification, but one thing I noticed about his armor is that it had like the leopard print, like really lightly done in gold. And I think that's cool because a Black Panther isn't a panther. It's, at least in Africa, a leopard, I think. I don't think there are leopards in South America. I know there aren't jaguars in Africa. So if it's a Black Panther in South America, it's a jaguar. If it's in Africa, it's a leopard. Pretty sure. So just like tiny details like that were really fantastic. But, Michael B., he was one of the more easily sympathetic villains this year. I mean, him and Michael Keaton were certainly the best I've seen in a couple of years since Civil War, mostly. It's just when he starts getting kind of radical, that's when you're like, okay, you gotta pull up, because now you're just acting like the imperialist that caused all your problems. So I like T'Challa's baby steps technique, because baby steps are how you really get anything done. The whole world's basically a spectrum. You can't just go from off to on. You gotta go through some phases in between, I think. And then I guess that just leaves Lupita Nyong'o, who is not your average romantic interest. She actually did stuff. And when she was coming out with the chakras and like shooting them at Killmonger, I was like, who are you, Tron? So, I mean, if I can quote Archer during a movie, I'm fucking happy. Basically, I really fucking like this movie. Black Panther has been the only superhero I was aware of, other than, like, Batman, that I didn't hate. He was the only superhero that I didn't hate up until I saw Avengers. And I've been looking forward to this one ever since. Like, I was really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok, but that was after Taika Waititi got the job. I've been looking forward to Black Panther since before it was even announced. I love Black Panther. He's so cool. But incredibly rich, and I find that kind of annoying. Like, I would like to see more ground level Wakanda stuff. I didn't get to see what they were doing. Like, they did some flyovers of the city, and like they're using their wrist bracelet phones, but then they're selling like woven baskets. And it's like, the fuck do you need those baskets for? Are you really gonna go out and collect berries or something? Like, I don't know. I feel like they have nylon backpacks, maybe probably made out of vibranium, so that they never ever break. You can just keep storing shit in there, and as long as you can lift it, you're good. So a little of the Africanism seemed kind of redundant in a post-technological world. So that's about all I have to say about Black Panther, and I hope I wasn't racist. I wouldn't know.